Hello and welcome to the Part-Time Gamers, the gaming podcast for people with full-time lives. I am Cyrenex, clocking in with my good friend, That One Weirdo.
I have nothing interesting to say tonight.
Considering the game we're talking about, I severely doubt that. Oh, yeah.
Well, I meant my little intros. Like, this is one of the few times, and it sucks because it wasn't, like, new that we were coming back. So I had time for the homework.
Yeah.
and I just said, it's fine. And then here we are, and I'm like, I have nothing witty to say. So I just copped to the fact that I had nothing witty to say, and I hope that covers as something witty to say.
It works in the proper context. It works.
It's meta, yeah.
I mean, my intro is always the same because if I don't have it always the same, I will mess it up somehow.
Somebody chimes in, they'll be like, that's terrible. I'll be like, I know, that was the point.
Man, it's been a couple weeks. We had Easter.
We're back!
Yeah, we're back. And I didn't think of something to talk about until literally about 2 days ago. Because my brain. But yeah, I had...
You're not even making a joke here, boys and girls. Like, he means that. And the best part about it is the answer wrote itself, where it's like,
yep.
Yeah.
Yep, it's going to work out. And we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, I had Easter 2 weeks ago, had my little vacation board game weekend with my friends out of town last weekend, which was a blast. And I think we're in theory supposed to be doing it once more this year.
Nice.
I'm not sure like what the plans are yet, but there were rumors of doing it again sometime this year, and maybe doing it, kind of make it a relatively regular thing. And oh man, it was so much fun. Got to play a bunch of board games I haven't played in a while. Apparently found out that I'm really good at being a fascist and Secret Hitler, which I'm not necessarily proud of.
I was gonna say, are you bragging or complaining? Because you could go either way.
Yes.
I mean, let's put it this way. Once again, follow through. Like, it's one of those, it's like, yeah, I'm not exactly saying that's something I should be proud of, but I can say I'm good at something. Maybe that's something I should be good at.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily glad that I was good at that, but I mean, the thing is, like, especially the first game, like, I'm actually, when it comes to like social deduction and deception type games with my group of friends, I almost never last until the end because it's just assumed that I'm the bad guy. Because like I'm the only one, like, out of all of us that was like actually successful at deception. And I don't know why.
See, how impressive is that where, it's a given that you would be that. You are that, and it doesn't ring for them, and you end up winning, where it's like, I mean, that's like doubling down on cool points.
Yeah.
That's like literally telling everybody, like, at the beginning of Clue, what's in the envelope, and then still getting away with it.
Yeah. I mean, there's one game that we didn't play this time, called, what was it? Dead of Winter, I believe is what it's called. It's a kind of a zombie board game where you're playing as these survivors just trying to, survive the scenario in this wintry zombie apocalypse. And I remember the last time we played it, which was granted like quite a while ago, there actually is a betrayer option in that game. And the last time we played it, I was the betrayer, and I was technically the only one that actually won the game. Because otherwise it is a cooperative game. It's you against the game unless there's a betrayer. But even then, it's like everyone has their own separate goals, but then they also have like their own survival goal. Like everyone has to survive, except the betrayer. The betrayer like purposely has to make the scenario fail for them to succeed. And I was able to actually succeed at my goal, and that's the only time I've ever seen that actually work. And of course, I was the one that did it. But it was a blast being able to do that, and I look forward to being able to do it again. Trying that also
Vacations
got
are
me,
good.
yeah, it also got me thinking again about my D&D campaign that I've been working on for the last 25 years or so now. It feels like. I mean, I finally dug out. I still have my official. This is like my official D&D notebook that has all my ideas and stuff in it. There's
Get
not.
out. It's on flipping graph paper, too.
Yes, because one of the I also I folded over the a couple of the pages to make like different sections.
That's
And
awesome.
one of the reasons why I have it on graph paper is because one of the sections is maps. So I've had this one for a while, and I got a bunch of like my random notes in the
Touche.
back. But I'm seriously considering starting that back up and actually trying to get past the whole planning phase. Which good luck with that. But oh yeah. So that was my weekend last week. But we are here again. We're back, and we're here to talk about a game. And
Oh, yeah.
the last minute theme that I came up 2 days ago, and it is a little bit selfish, but we're going to talk about it anyway. So we're getting back to work.
Morning break is over. Morning break is over.
All right, the theme for this weekend, next week, finishing off April, is my current hyperfocus. So
A great theme.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about two games that have dominated my gaming focus for the last month or two. And the first one we're going to be talking about is Resident Evil Requiem. Which I knew you would have no problem talking about. I mean, I didn't even bother putting down any actual notes because I know we're both just going to geek out about it. And, it is such a new game that it's all of it's still in my head. So
When I read that, before, but also today, I went to the movies before the show now, over here. And I literally, the whole time, going to the movie, getting snacks, I was just so giddy. My girlfriend's like, great, save it for the show and shut up.
she's not wrong.
He says with that type of, response from her, she really missed her really missed her calling in the greeting card industry. Yeah, really, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, pretty big thing. Developed, published by Capcom. No surprise there. $69.99 on Xbox, PlayStation, Switch 2 specifically. No original Switch. Not strong enough for this. And PC via Steam and Epic.
People said PCBS.
Yeah, I don't know what PC via. I think PC via. It sounds like some kind of artificial sweetener. But anyway.
Close enough.
Yeah. I mean, this is one of the few games that my whole thing with this game in particular is really weird because I didn't decide on getting this game until I'd already seen two streamers play through and finish their first playthroughs of this game, which normally that'd be like, okay, I got the story. That's all I needed and move on. But after seeing both of these people play through to the first playthrough of the story and everything, I was like, I actually really want to play this. And I was actually able to manage the $70, bought it on Steam, full price. Again, one of the few games I've actually bought full priced game that I bought not on sale. So that's saying something about this. And oh man, I've already completed 3 full playthroughs.
Yes.
And am planning at least 2 more. And we will get into the reasons behind that in a second.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, for anyone who's unfamiliar with Resident Evil, let me rephrase that. Both of the people who are unfamiliar with Resident Evil, survival horror.
It's a game.
Yep. I mean, this is Resident Evil 9 technically. even though
Yes.
they don't technically have the 9 in there, and officially it's
They call it RE9 and then Requiem. Like I've heard that phrasing, but they
yeah,
also have, remakes of certain ones and stuff like that. And it's just this little game that turned into this franchise. And today, and I know I sent you some video, I
yeah,
took a look at RE1, like the first one.
yeah,
I'll be honest, this is where you get sad about being older, but then have that young moment where you have that experience and you can still remember it. Like there's so many
yeah,
things I forget. Like I don't even remember what I had for breakfast this morning. But the scene where the zombie dog, comes through the glass,
yeah,
still, because I was literally watching it on my bed, sitting there hanging with my cat. And I sat there and I was like, oh yeah, that. And there's something about that moment even now. Like it's almost like this weird core memory. Like my kids being born, it's like, oh yeah, cool. And then it's like, I remember where I was when I played Resident Evil. Holy crap.
yeah,
It stuck. Like I still had like a jolt moment of like the first time I went, oh, I can get scared in a video game. Like I can get immersive. Because this is PS1 graphics where they did like
yeah.
video graphics where it looked like Command and Conquer.
Oh,
And
yeah,
well, and that's the thing. Like I look at them now, and I mean, they still hold up for me in like a nostalgic sense. But when they were literally filming this stuff, and I'm like, so let me get this straight. The real people video didn't tank. Mocap came along, and that ended up being more realistic. And it looks a little campy. Actually, it looks more than a little campy. But just the structure getting so immersive, and the fact that even at that point, horror survival games didn't even try to go in that. Like a lot of stuff is still side scroller because once again, PS1.
yeah,
This was the first one to have actual like you got to go there.
yeah,
You have to go upstairs. You have to
yeah,
go under the house and things of that nature. I think that's what it was for a lot of people. Because even if I remember correctly, even the release wasn't anything like miraculous. Capcom must have known they had something, good loaded in the
yeah,
chamber, but it wasn't pushed in that sense. And this is on the PS1, which at the time was, better than sliced white bread.
yeah.
So here we are, like 30 years later, and
Yeah, it is. It's been looking at it that way is a huge jump. So like a random little bit of trivia that I heard when Resident Evil 8 came out, Resident Evil Village came out. There are
village.
actually there are fewer polygons in the entire original release of Resident Evil 1 than there are on Big Vampire Lady's butt. I just thought that was a funny little tidbit of information, and to show you like how much technology has advanced in that time frame.
And
Uh,
it's crazy because
yeah,
with RE1, like, and even today, like that was graphics wise, that was the cat's meow.
yeah,
Like we were all like, whoa, they can do this,
yeah,
and they knew. They just knew how to. I mean, there's a couple bumps along the road, and then there's that movie franchise that okay, Mila Jovovich got it. But ultimately, they really knew how to make. They knew how to carry over and start with like a good story, something that was immersive, and then now we're going to go here, now we're going to go there, and then like this one, boy, talk about bringing it full circle in so many ways.
yeah. I mean, and
And stuck that landing and then some.
yeah, I mean, now full disclosure, I've watched a bunch of playthroughs and a bunch of gameplay of a lot of the Resident Evil games up to this point, but this is the first Resident Evil game I've actually played myself. Um, so this is, from what I've been hearing, there's two very big gameplay styles in this game that you kind of alternate through. The video that we have up here now is of one of the characters. Her name is Grace Ashcroft. She is the daughter of one of the characters from, I believe, Resident Evil Outbreak. I believe that was. Was it Alyssa Ashcroft, I believe was her name. This is her daughter, Grace Ashcroft. And she gets like you find out very quickly the actual like real villain, true villain of this entire game is Grace's boss. This guy is like monster dickhole, because Grace is an FBI analyst. She's not a field operative. Her boss calls her into
and you
his
learn that
office.
quickly.
Yeah. And she, like, I don't know if it was intentional or if it's canon or whatnot, but she does give off some, like, autistic vibes.
Yes.
So I don't know if that's, like, an official thing or, it's supposed to be implied or whatever, but she kind of gives off those kind of autistic vibes. So her boss calls her into his office and says, "Hey, you remember that hotel where your mother was horribly murdered? Yeah, we need you to go investigate that." It's like,
don't even bury the lead.
Yeah. And it's like, so you find out like he's the ultimate dickhole in this whole thing, right from the start, before you even meet any of the other characters. But Grace's sections are the much more kind of like Resident Evil 1, much more of the horror aspect of survival horror, because she has a very limited inventory. She's limited to, she can get effectively 3 handguns, one of which is the Magnum that you're not going to use very often. I mean, it's for big dudes. And then she has a relatively weak starting pistol, and then she finds a slightly more powerful, like slightly more powerful pistol later on, that you can miss. And that's all. That's all she gets for like firearms. And then she can get her whole play style is much more the hide, the much more strategic, stealthy gameplay, where she's skulking around trying to avoid the zombies and everything like that. She can get glass bottles that she can throw out and to create noise and distract the zombies to another location.
And fun blood samples.
Yes. And that's the other thing about Grace's sections is she can craft all kinds of stuff. She can craft ammo. She can craft, this, like, her stealth kill mechanic is this thing called a hemolytic injector, where it's really horrific. So, like, she basically comes up behind him, stabs him with the injector, and they, like, just gooify into, like, a balloon of blood. It's just gross. But it's an instant kill. There's nothing left of them after it happens, which is important because, of course, like a lot of Resident Evil games, zombies that you leave on the ground can mutate. So, but if you use a hemolytic injector, they're just gone. There's nothing to mutate. Oh man, this opening scene with Leon and the big dude is Victor Gideon, obviously like one of the main villains of the game.
Who happens to look like my sleep paralysis demon.
Yeah. He's just going
the first time I saw him like in a trailer, and I was just like,
he looks vaguely familiar.
I don't have enough Benadryl to deal with this. Stop that.
But yeah, it's like an opening scene with the other character, Leon S. Kennedy of Resident Evil fame. He's just walking down the street and just like dart guns a bunch of people, random people on the street, and infects them, turns them into zombies, which is not fun. But yeah, the other character in the other main character you play as is Leon, and his style of gameplay is the much more action oriented.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Like he gets a hatchet that he can use for instant kills, stealth kills, stuff like that. He gets a lot more weaponry. He gets even though he is much more of an action character in the Resident Evil world, it's still in the Resident Evil world. So it's not like you're John Wicking your way through all of these. There's still like ammo concerns. There's still, you can still get swarmed. You can still, like, there's still enemies that if you get hit, they will one-shot you. even on like the standard difficulty. They like the mutation that these zombies turn into are referred to as blister heads, and there's an attack that they do where they will just one shot you regardless of what your health is. It happened to me a lot because I didn't realize what was happening. But he still has a lot of tools. It's still a lot more of an action-oriented gameplay style for him. But yeah, I was talking about crafting on Grace and then got distracted by my own video. So the funny thing about crafting on Grace is as you're going around these different locations, you'll pick up infected blood. And infected blood is like the primary component for all of her crafting, which is a little out there.
A bit.
So it's like it's a little weird that you're just making like handgun ammo out of blood, and then using the ammo on your enemies to create more blood in order to create more ammo. Well, it's not exactly like that, but I mean it's also not necessarily not like that either. Because depending on how you kill some of these zombies, they will drop more infected blood, which you can collect and convert back into ammo, and you need scrap and stuff like that too. But her whole crafting mechanic is a little interesting. But and then you have Leon's crafting is the standard, like, oh, I need powder, I need like gunpowder and scrap and stuff like that, and I can make shotgun ammo. So the one big difference in their crafting, though, is the Magnum. So the Magnum in the game, it's actually called Requiem. That's what the Magnum is called, and it has that is the like I win button in the game.
Yes.
Until you unlock the rocket launcher later on, through the challenge mode and everything. So Grace can craft the Requiem ammo. It's very limited supply because it takes rare metals. But she can actually craft the Requiem ammo. Leon cannot. So it's a little difference in their crafting, like one very specific difference, because almost like Leon can craft all the other ammo types. He can craft, med injectors and all that kind of stuff. Grace can make handgun ammo.
Handgun
ammo.
ammo.
Yeah, handgun ammo.
Handgun ammo. Handgumbo. I love handgumbo. Sounds delicious.
Yeah, she can craft handgun ammo and injectors and med kit, and she can make Molotovs and acid and stuff like that later on. But so there's a very distinct shift in gameplay styles when you switch characters. Like I said, Grace is very much the like classic Resident Evil 1 style. Leon is much more of like the kind of like the games that he was in, like Resident Evil 5. I think he was in Resident Evil 4, where it's much more action oriented, but it still has those survival elements that you need to consider. And it is kind of interesting how they break up the two characters in the different sections throughout the story. Because about the first half of the game is mostly Grace's story with a little bit of Leon thrown in for tension relief. And then the last half of the story is the opposite, where it's much more Leon's gameplay, a lot more of the action oriented with a little bit of Grace's segments thrown in, for just to break up the gameplay. I think that is a really cool idea. I think this is the first time where they've really done that.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think from everything that I've heard, the pacing is really good. It feels really good. Because you got like I said, you got the tension building with Grace's segments, and then you get the tension release and, just the being able to like actually fight back as Leon. So I think they did really well with that. I think this is the first game where they give you the choice from the start what perspective you want to play in.
Yes.
Oh, so the default for Grace is first person to kind of highlight the more horror elements of the gameplay and stuff like that. Because in third person you have more perspective, you can see more around you. In first person you don't, so it gives that a little bit more tension to it. Because you can't see everything around you. But you can, and default for Leon is third person for the exact opposite of what I was just saying. But you can, those are the defaults. You can change it however you want. Like the gameplay that we're showing right now is in third person universally. This is how I played it as well. I play in third person with Grace as well. But I mean, this, regardless of what perspective you play it on, there's some genuinely terrifying stuff that happens.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and this was, like I said, I had watched 2 streamers do their first playthroughs before I started playing this game, and there were still parts of it that got me. I mean, and like to give you a little bit of perspective on how scary this game can be. So Scott Johnson of the Frog Pants fame dropped his first on-stream F-bomb playing this.
That's a seal of approval right there.
Yes. And he has
put that on the package.
Yeah. I mean, he has, like I said, he's been doing streaming and stuff for like podcasting for like 15 years. This is the first time like in recorded, like he actually has like a recorded F-bomb of his own. And it was from playing this game. In fact, it might be like it's in this first section with Grace that it happens. But yeah, there's, overall, it's definitely got kind of best of both worlds going. Because definitely the horror elements of Grace's sections really do build that tension. Especially in your first playthrough when you don't understand what a lot of the mechanics are. Like that is common in a lot of Resident Evil games. There is a sort of like Mr. X style character where it's just, you can't do anything about them other than try not to be in front of them. That's basically all you can do. And this has that kind of character as well. In fact, it's in Grace's sections. It shows up in a little bit later, like a minute or two in this video, and she's just referred to as the girl.
Yeah,
and she is terrifying, especially when you don't know how to deal with her. And she's like a persistent threat through a lot of Grace's sections. Yeah, it's definitely got, her sections definitely have a little bit of that Alien Isolation type feel, where like you'll hear chains jingling, but you don't know exactly where they're coming from.
Right.
So you're just like, you have to constantly be looking around to see where she is. Cause again, you can't do anything to stop her. I mean, the best you can do is you can stun her by shooting her with Requiem. That's the best you can do. And again, Requiem bullets are very difficult to come about. So you have to be very selective with them. Yeah, so, and then on the flip side, Leon sections are just like, okay, let's see how many headshots I can get before they start swarming me.
Yes.
I mean, it's definitely a different feel. He's got, like, you don't have to worry about, it's much more that action style. It's still in the Resident Evil universe, but it's much more that action side of the spectrum, which is still really fun to play.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And it's like being able to like upgrade.
And he's got an arsenal from like Oklahoma.
Yeah. I mean, he can get a bunch of different weapons. Like he
didn't leave Grace anything. He just, I got him.
Well, I mean,
You're good. You got your blood thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he does give Grace the Requiem when they first meet.
Yes.
Which is one of the reasons why Grace so the Requiem, like I said, is Leon's magnum, and when they first meet, he actually gives the Requiem to Grace. So for like that first half of the game, during Grace's section, she has the Requiem with her. Leon does not. And then eventually they meet again. She gives the Requiem back to Leon, and then Leon has it for the rest of the game. She doesn't. But so yeah, this part of the video, yeah, they're showing that is the girl just picking up a zombie and just completely biting the head off of it. She is
family fun for all.
Yeah. And she's like the persistent threat through a bunch of Grace's sections. Yeah, it's just scary. So it was because of her that Scott Johnson dropped his F-bomb a little bit later on. So there's this. So one thing that is they like the gamer brain sequence of like her first section in this care center is you unlock the girl. You go into this room that is close by that has a light on in it. The girl tries to go in there, gets burned. That's how you know, okay, she doesn't like light. But it has to be strong light, like an overhead light from a room. So you encounter her again because you have to go back into that room to get a screwdriver to unlock a fuse to unlock the door to get you to a different section. You have to go in there and you have to move this cart. As you move this cart, it drops stuff on the floor, attracts her attention. She comes into that room eventually. So the gamer brain is like you try to grab the screwdriver, run out that room, run down the hallway that you're supposed to go to, but she busts through this door and blocks your path. So the gamer brain sequencing is, okay, like the panic sequencing is, I need to run back to that room that has the light on. You run back to that room. The girl follows you, gets to the doorway, stops, instead goes up into the ceiling, and a second later, the lights go out. That is the exact moment that Scott dropped his F-bomb because of the realization of like, oh, this room is no longer safe. So the way that they build the tension in Grace's sections is really well done. Because it's like that, it's not jump scares necessarily. There are some of them in there, but it's just that sense of tension, that sense of like, I hear something, but I don't know where it's coming from. And just always having to pay attention to everything that's around you. It's really well done in Grace's sections. But yeah, so like the other way that you could have done that sequence is instead of running back to that room and like resetting, you run back into the same room you were just in, and then, you know, kind of draw her away from the doorway long enough that you can get through and get down the hallway and everything. Kind of loop her around. But yeah, this is just like the first like hour.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I mean, it's like the amount of stuff that you have to go through in this game is just crazy. Especially like I said, in Grace's section. Like I keep on talking about Grace's sections over Leon's because Leon's they're action. You know, you're like the way I've heard it phrased, it's Leon's sections are still survival horror, but it's the zombies being afraid of Leon instead of the other way around.
Yes.
But there's still a lot that can go wrong with Leon's sections. One other thing that's kind of being displayed right here with Grace is she has two different run animations, which is relevant because like she has a kind of like a baseline, like brisk jog animation that doesn't really go very fast, but you know, it does what it needs to. And then she has like a panic run. There's only a couple sections where she actually goes into that animation. And if you're in first person, you'll notice like all of a sudden she just like slows down for whatever reason. You can't really understand why she's just all of a sudden slowing down. If you're playing in third person, you realize that the reason why she's slowing down is because she's stumbling and like falling to the ground.
Yep.
So it's really interesting, like that they have that kind of thing, and it's only with Grace. Leon is doesn't have that kind of that panic run or anything like that. But so yeah, she has her own things. Uh, a couple things that are like unique to Leon is he has his hatchet. He can actually parry attacks with his hatchet,
Yes.
which I believe is something he's been able to do as well. Again, this is the first Resident Evil game I've ever played, so I don't know firsthand. But I've seen videos of him parrying in other games as well with a knife. This time he has a hatchet, and you can parry some pretty crazy stuff. Like there's one section. Actually, I won't say that section because it is a little bit of a spoiler. But there's definitely occasions where he's able to parry things that he should not be able to parry. Like
No.
I've heard that he's able to parry cars that are thrown at him. I think you can even parry.
Could happen.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can parry rockets fired at him too.
Yes. Hey, with that jawline of his, with no shirt, he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, and that's another common thing that's been done with the whole Rule 34 with this game. A lot of which is from Leon, regardless of which way you swing. Anyway.
Oh, with a jawline like that, you can swing wherever you like. Leon be like,
oh,
I don't think he'd mind.
probably not. But yeah, he's definitely let's snooze that for a second. I mean, yeah. Again, just the difference in gameplay is pretty drastic, but still fits in the spectrum of Resident Evil.
Yes.
I don't want to get too much into the story, because it's, obviously I don't want to spoil too much of it. It's mostly like what are the differences between the two characters, how they play differently. Wanted to get into for the part-time gamer aspect of the game. They give you a lot of off ramps to take a break. Even if there's a couple different difficulties you can play on as well. Casual is casual. It's pretty easy. The zombies don't hit for as much. Your health regenerates a little bit, not to full, but to like half or so, enough to get you out of danger. They provide a lot more ammo and healing items and stuff like that. I played on. There's two different standard modes though, and the difference between the two is there's standard modern and there's standard classic. And the difference is in standard classic, if you want to save using the typewriters on Grace, you have to have an ink ribbon. So you have to have that, and you can actually craft them. But that's, again, one more thing she needs to craft. She needs to use her limited resources to do in order to save the game at a typewriter. But you can still find them around there as well. Or you can do some of the challenges, which I'll get into in a second. And so that's one of the big differences between the difficulty settings. There's an insanity setting you can unlock as well, which is just incredibly a lot more difficult. Like there's certain doors in there that are closed off that changes all the codes for the safes. There's it just changes things up, makes things a lot more deadly. So there's that as well. And then in addition to all of this, there is a challenge. You can unlock challenges, just certain things throughout the game that unlock challenge points. These challenge points you can spend to unlock new weapons, new items, models, concept art, that kind of stuff. It sucks to be this lady getting chainsawed through the chest. We have come to determine.
Well, that's another thing too. Leon can wield the chainsaw, and boy, can he ever!
Yeah. And that's not a euphemism either. And I love the fact that he still has his corny one-liners too.
Yes,
which is great.
Almost like Evil Dead takes over Resident Evil.
Yeah. But yeah. So you can one of the things that I really like about this game is beyond the story. I like explicit goals, and they have the challenges, which are all explicit goals. So it's like, hey, do this thing, and it's like, cool, I want to do this thing, uh, and like they have a lot of times people will go through a second playthrough on casual, and they will try to unlock three of the challenges specifically in the same playthrough, which is no crafting on Grace, no using healing items at all on any character, and trying to beat the game in less than 4 hours, which it is you can do. Uh,
Yes.
I did the first two in one playthrough. This is the reason why I've gone through three times so far. Is I've done the first three or the first two, the no healing, no crafting on Grace. I did that on one playthrough, and then I did a speed run playthrough once I unlocked infinite ammo. And I gotta tell you, when you're able to just mow things down with the Requiem, the game gets a lot easier. Uh,
Mhm.
so, but I really like the fact that they give you those options, and give you the ability to unlock stuff like that. Uh, so the reason why I want to go through at least two more times is there is one challenge, referred it's just listed as the final puzzle, and the only description you get on this is like bring the sweet pair back together or something like that. It's the only description you get from this challenge, and it requires at least two playthroughs. And I actually think this was a really cool thing that was kind of ruined pretty quickly, pretty early on after the game was released, because it was intended to be an ARG type thing, an alternate reality game,
Yep.
where you're supposed to like just through the amount of people playing through the game, they're supposed to discover these little inconsistency, these little clues throughout a bunch of different things throughout the game, and they were supposed to like it was supposed to build a communities of like people on forums like, hey, I found out this thing, it could mean this, hey, I found this other thing, it could help out with this, this other thing, and like within a week someone had just data mined all the triggers and gave everyone the answer. uh so it's like, oh well, that we live in a world of technology where people understand how to do these things. And then like someone gave a guide after it was all kind of revealed. They gave a guide of how you were supposed to find out about all these clues, uh, to give it a little bit more of a background and everything. And yeah, it was, but yeah, it requires at least two playthroughs to finish that puzzle. And some
Sure.
of this stuff is like, it would take a lot of people looking for these things to figure it out, because some of them are very specific things you need to do,
Yeah.
and look for. And it's like something as simple as like, huh, why did these like three letters don't seem to belong on this file? You know,
Yeah.
it's like you look at a picture and it's like, huh, that blood stain looks like a certain symbol. Maybe that's
Yeah.
important. And it's like something like that. And so if it had actually gone the way it was supposed to have gone, I think it would have been interesting. But yeah, now that with it being uh data mined and everything pretty early on, just being able to figure it out, I'm just gonna go with the guide. but but yeah, like I said, I'm probably gonna still play at least two more times to get that, and then like try to see how many of the like, I want to try to get all of the challenges because they are within reach. And the only one that might be difficult is beating the game on insanity. But that's where, unlimited ammo comes into play. Uh,
Yes.
so, and that is an option that you can toggle on or off. So you can go back and play it the way it's supposed to be played. And if you want to and such. And, I mean, yeah, it's really interesting seeing how people play the game, like what kind of weapons they choose, what kind of tactics they choose, like especially like watching speedrunners play through this, because
Yeah.
there's a surprisingly few number of bypasses and shortcuts that you can take in this game. Uh, like there's one early on with the girl where like as soon as she's revealed, she'll come through this doorway, and if you're in first person view and all the way to the side of that doorway, you can actually sneak behind her and go into the room before you're normally supposed to be able to. That's like one of the. There's like 3 bypasses, and that's one of them. So a lot of it is just figuring out the best route to go, just normally, which is interesting. And like another like 2. I'll finish up with like because we're already getting close to the end of our time. I mean, this is a game I can talk about for a while apparently, but like 2 little tidbits of information for anyone playing through this to help you out a little bit. One, there actually is a cooldown. There's an internal cooldown on when you can get bitten by a zombie.
Right.
And one of the ways that I've seen speedrunners utilize this is when they're about to encounter a large group of zombies, they'll purposely let themselves get bitten by the first one so they can just run past all the other ones without getting bitten again. Oh, it does give you that like a couple seconds of recovery time to deal with that. The second thing, when you encounter blister heads, especially on Leon, because even with Leon's arsenal, blister heads are bullet sponges. They will eat up, just chew through ammo. And even on Leon, ammo is still a concern. There have been multiple times where it's like, well, I'm out of ammo on 3 of the 4 weapons I have, and the last one I have, I don't like. So it's like you'll get to
tickle him. Just come here, you.
Yeah, I mean, you always have his hatchet as well, but that doesn't do nearly as much. When
it's fun to watch him just hack.
Yeah.
Like there's some enjoyment in just him like.
Yeah,
just Paul Bunyan through him.
I mean, because you can still do parries and stuff like that, and those you can do executions with the parries and such. But when you're encountering blister heads on Leon, try to angle your shot so that you are, like, especially with a shotgun, try to hit them into something. Like, knock them back into a wall, because if they get knocked back into a wall, they'll immediately go down and you can do an execution on them, even if you only took 1 shot at them. So that's one of the reasons why like shotguns are in particular are very powerful to him, because he can knock them back, try to angle it into a wall, knock them down, run up, execute them. Makes them a lot easier to take out, because like, again, otherwise you're going to be shooting like 5, 6, 7 shotgun shells into their face to try to take them out. So there's definitely some tactics involved to make things easier.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
Such a good game, and I guess this is the best way for me to put it. Like, I mean, we talk about so many games and we're passionate about them, and I mean, there's ones that's like and then there's ones where like cool and all that. Like you and me, and especially you through this, you're giddy. Like there's something to be said about being giddy about a game. And I think that, at least for me, but I know for many of us, obviously, who play games, like it comes from just the sheer joy when you discover a game. And like in your case, it's even better because like you were like, oh yeah, Resident Evil's a thing, got it. And then it was like, okay, well, let me give this one a shot. And there have been more highs than lows in the games. Yeah. 6 is considered kind of the redheaded stepchild, and it had this really weird
fun to play co-op. So regardless of how bad it is,
but it had this weird feature they threw in there because they tried to make it more. Like they went in a weird direction to make it like super actiony, and I don't know if that was like. I mean, super actiony even by the standards of Resident Evil, or even with Leon in this one.
Yeah.
Where they did this weird shooting roll. Where like you get on the ground and you roll and you like, and it's like, and it's not like, I mean, it's like half John Woo, but it's weird because it's like you're on your back doing it. Like you can just lay and whatever, and people were like, yeah, okay, that's a thing. And once again, I mean, it really was. I mean, it had its effectiveness, but like you said, like more co-op. Co-op was where it was really at as far as fun. That one just felt like they took like this weird U-turn from everything else they had done at that point, especially considering 4 had happened. And 4 for many people is like, I mean, it's right up there with this one and 2, where it's like, oh, the holy grail of Resident Evils, you say. Like, oh, let me introduce you to what's at the top of the peak. But to give you kind of an idea how giddy these games still make me, like even me playing this one. Oh, I don't know if you mentioned, but there's that one monster where if you shoot like the stores on him, it mutates the others. That was disgusting.
Oh,
like
yeah.
even at first, I love these games and all the bloodshed and everything. I was just watching that. I'm like, that's not cool. Like,
Yeah.
and that was before even the Fallout. Just watching that all happen.
Yeah.
But these games, and I have a few of them, and access to a bunch of them, PS5 and all that. But these are games like, but I've made jokes for like, I'm gonna go play Resident Evil in the dark. I know what the experience is going to be, and I do know it is still scary. And there are times where I will play Resident Evil with the lights on.
Yeah.
Because I know what I'm getting. I know what this franchise, most of these games are built on.
Yeah.
And even after 30 years, like if you think about, like they have, CGI movies. They've got like 3 or 4. They've got the live action ones. They have the one that they tried to kind of reboot, Welcome to Raccoon City. And then we've got one coming up towards the end of this year for like the 30th anniversary. Oh, that's another thing too. If you played the first one like when I did, and you realize now it's 30 years later, schedule your colonoscopy right now.
Yeah.
But I love how they still make me feel like these games, and even like watching stuff from the first one today, and like playing all the other ones where it's still fun, and they still have enough. I mean, even from a storyline standpoint, they still have enough to really take you down a rabbit hole. Because this one is many, many years after the fact, going back into Raccoon City.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be, it's 28 years after the events of, wasn't it Resident Evil 2 was Raccoon City?
I want to say it was 2, yeah.
So, yeah, the bomb, I think, was dropped at the end of Resident Evil 3, if I recall correctly. But yeah, this takes place 28 years after that.
Sounds right. I'd have to check.
Yeah. And, yeah, so they do return to Raccoon City in this. So, I mean, I don't know how much of a spoiler.
And it's still the shithole they left it as.
Yep. In fact, it's even worse. But like another thing I'm actually really excited about is in the wake of RE9's release, a lot of other information came out from Capcom, and one of the things that is supposed to be coming out either, I think, next year. Excuse me. There's rumors that, I don't know if it's been confirmed or not, but they're doing a remake of the original Resident Evil.
They sure are.
And it's going to be in line of like the remakes that they have, like Resident Evil 2, 3, 4, the more recent remakes that they've made. Which if that's the case, I'm really excited about it. Once that comes out, I'm seriously considering like, maybe I can do like a series of going through the Resident Evil games.
Oh yeah.
Cause looking at like watching this, playing through this, watching the previous remakes and stuff like that, they actually, they might be onto something. So,
I know. Well, and for me, like, I mean, they haven't come out and said it, but they haven't come out and not said it. They've been a little hush hush, and everybody knows there seems to be a new one on the way, or something in the mix, and everything seems to be pointing towards a remake of RE1. And I could not be more thrilled about just the ideal of that, because the remakes they've done so far have been on the level.
Yeah.
Save a thought for the person, that I was 30 years ago, where it's like, wow, it's come so far that they not only remake this, but like what that will look like. Because like looking at today's game, like looking at RE1 and having kind of that, like it's still cool in its own right. But then now we look at like this one.
Oh yeah.
And where graphics obviously and storytelling and everything has come such a long way.
Yeah.
So there's kind of this sad kind of like, wait, there's nothing wrong with it. Why would you remake it? And there's another side of me that's like, that's gonna be cool.
I'm like, that's one of the things is one of the reasons why I have not played the original Resident Evil 1. I mean, it was a product of its time, you know, not only technologically but also cinematically. The way that they have the fixed camera angles like that, I personally can't stand that. That's one of the biggest reasons why I have not played it. If they go on the line of like the Resident Evil 2 or 3 remakes, Resident Evil 4 remakes, and they somehow are able to keep that cinematic feel, the tension without having to rely on really bad camera angles, I'm willing to play it. I'm willing to give it a shot.
Especially if they remade 4.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one is the bomb.
Yeah, I've heard really good things about the remakes. So
yeah,
I'm looking forward to the remake of 1. And like I said, once that comes out, I might
you've been
consider
converted to my team. Welcome, Resident Evil. We'll get jackets and bumper stickers made.
Yep. Once that comes out, I'm considering, like, I might actually try to do like go through a series, the whole series, whole mainline series at least. I mean, there's a bunch of offshoots and everything like that too, but
well, there's a ton.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, they might be onto something. So briefly, I mean, we're going to have an ad starting in a couple seconds on Twitch that I cannot stop. But we're pretty much at the end of our show. So one thing I did want to mention, and we're not going to get in full-blown water cooler talk, but something I thought was really cool. So people are familiar with Phasmophobia. You know, it's kind of a big deal. They released information that they like have sold 28 million copies. And there's supposedly on their roadmap, they're supposed to hit 1.0 this year, which is going to be really fun. They got a big get. They're going to be having a collaboration with Remedy Games to do an Alan Wake 2 event in Phasmophobia. That is a huge deal for this, you know, this company, you know, Kinetic Games started off with just one dude making this game, and a couple of years later they're getting Remedy Games to do a collaboration with them for an in-game event.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. That will probably actually get me back into playing Phasmophobia, at least for that event. There's, you know, and this is going to be happening like next month. So it's coming up quick. And, I mean, they have a trailer for it and everything. And they have the actual voice actor for Alan Wake doing the voiceover for the trailer. So, you know, this is, I don't know, like to what extent they're going to be, influencing Phasmophobia, but just the fact, like, even if it's just like a licensing thing, that's still a big get for for Kinetic Games to get. So really looking forward to that. I think that's really cool. Won't go further than that. That's pretty much the whole article, with a couple more details. But anyway, we are good on time now. So, yeah, everyone, thanks for joining us. Next week, we're going to be continuing the theme of my current hyperfocus with Hades 2. I was not able to buy Hades 2 on Steam up until this point, but they released it on Game Pass on the 14th, and I've basically been playing it ever since. And I gotta tell you, game's good. It's like what Megacrit is doing with Slay the Spire 2. They're not reinventing the wheel; they're just adding laser beams in a minibar. It's
that's
good.
What you do.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't change the formula too much. Like, it's, if you liked Hades 1, you'll like Hades 2 probably more.
There you go.
I mean, it's really good. It's really good. In fact, once we're off the show, I'm probably going to play more of it before I go to bed. Because it's this.
He
Hades
said
2
in
is
his
my
whisper, seductive voice.
Yeah. Hades 2 is my current hyper focus. At least until I get to a certain point, and then I'll probably go back to RE9 for a little bit. But anyways, everyone, thank you for listening. If you like what you've heard and would like to help us out, a few ways you can do that are by giving us a review over on Apple Podcast. You can follow my Twitch channel for the live recordings or my YouTube channel for the VODs. Our live recordings are Sunday nights starting at 9:15 Eastern time for our tech check. The show proper starts at 9:30. So if you don't want to hear us banter about random stuff, like how my microphone was apparently not on for most of the pre-show, and that thankfully I found it before we actually started the show.
That's important. That's good.
Yeah.
Good catch.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, like the only people who would be hearing me not talking during the pre-show are people who were actually watching live. But anyways, yeah, our live show for Tech Check and everything starts at 9:15. Show proper starts at 9:30. And one other way you can help us is by leaving us a tip over on our Ko-fi. If you'd like to contact us, you can with our email, parttimegamers.cast@gmail.com, or you can join our Discord channel where you can chat with us directly. I'm pretty much in there all the time. So if you add me in our Discord, I will see it and I will probably respond. If you're in our Twitch chat, if you do !links, it'll show you all of our links that are relevant, such as where you can find my show and links to everything around it with the link bit.ly/CI Productions. That'll take you to my website, caffeineinducedproductions.com, where you can find everything that about the show and everything around it. You can find Ember's work over at 9of12.com, NINEOF12.com. Theo, where can people find your work around the internet?
Oh, usually if they, Google like IRS and like,
tax fraud,
fugitives.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, it's not tax fraud if I don't actually pay the taxes.
No, then it's just tax
Oh,
evasion.
no way.
Anyway.
Look, can you stop using these fancy words like tax? For the time being, just here. I know I've said forever and a day I'm looking at getting a new show going, and I mean it when I say it. So it's just a matter of kind of getting there and getting back into some routine. Past couple weeks have been a little much, but for now you can find me here in all my glory.
All right, well, everyone, thank you for listening. Excuse me, I'm going to burp in the microphone before we quit, because why not? Everyone, until next time, and talking about Hades 2, we are the Part-Time Gamers, clocking out.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.